Hi there and welcome to the screencast. Tonight I'm going to solve some problems dealing with rational expressions. Alright, in the first problem here I'm asked to factor n squared minus 19n plus 90. Now there's no common factor and it is a trinomial, so I'm going to look for two numbers that multiply to be 90 and add up to negative 19. That would be n minus 9 and n minus 10. And I am all set. Alright, the first few words in tonight's secret sentence are Congress passed a law. That is, Congress passed a law. Alright, in the second problem I'm asked to simplify an expression. So when I'm asked to simplify, the first step I always do is factor. So b plus 1 obviously can't be factored, but I can factor the denominator. And it's a trinomial, so I need two numbers that multiply to be negative 2 and add up to negative 1. And that would be b minus 2 and b plus 1. Alright, and now once I have factored, I can cross out factors that appear in both numerator and denominator and replace them with a 1. So that leaves me, once I cross out the b plus 1s, that leaves me with 1 over b minus 2, and that's all the farther I can go. Alright, the next few words in tonight's sentence are the words on December 26th, 1941. That's on December 26th, 1941. Okay, in problem 3 I have a multiplication problem. So for a multiplication problem I need to factor each numerator and each denominator. And once I do that I'm going to cross out things that appear in both numerator and denominator. So the numerator of the first term factors to be, let's see, x minus 2 and x minus 4. Its denominator, okay, there's a common factor there of 2x, so I can factor out 2x, leaving me with x minus 4. And then the second term, the second fraction, I can factor out a 2x out of the numerator, giving me that. And then the denominator, I need two numbers that multiply to be negative 20 and add up to negative 1. And that would be x minus 5 and x plus 4. Alright, now I'm ready to cross things out that appear in both numerator and denominator, so I can see that a 2x appears in both places, an x minus 4 appears in both places, and an x minus 5 appears in both places. And what does that leave me with? X minus 2 over x plus 4. And that's my product. Alright, next few words are these. Ensuring that all Americans would. That is, ensuring that all Americans would. Alrighty, moving on. Problem number 4, I think, is going to be division. Yes, it is. Alright, so when I am performing division, division by a fraction is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal of the fraction. So before I even factor, I'm going to write the reciprocal of the second fraction. Alright, and now I just have a multiplication problem, which I solve like the last one. So I'm going to need to factor, and let's see, so the numerator of my the numerator factors to be, let's see, two numbers that multiply to be 3 and add up to 4 would be m plus 3 and m plus 1. The denominator stays the same. The numerator of the second term factor doesn't factor, it's already factored. And the denominator of the second term factors to be this. Alright, now I can go through, cross things out that appear in both places, and I'm left with my quotient, and it is m plus 1 over 3. Alright, next few words are celebrating a unified Thanksgiving on. Once again, those are celebrate a unified Thanksgiving on. Okay, now I have number 5 here. It is addition. So when I'm doing addition, I always multiply the first fraction by the denominator of the second fraction over itself. So that would be n plus 1 over n plus 1. And then the second fraction gets multiplied by the denominator of the first fraction over itself. So that's n plus 4 over n plus 4. Alright, now I'm going to have a single fraction as my answer, and the numerators, or the denominator, is going to be n plus 1 times n plus 4. And then now I just need to add or subtract the numerators. So I need to distribute. So I get 5n plus 5, and then plus another 5n plus 20. And that gives me a total of 10n plus 25, and that's all over n plus 1, n plus 4. And that is my sum. Alright, moving on. In the last problem here, I have an equation. So now when I have an equation, I need to multiply the entire equation, and when I do that, I'm going to draw brackets around the entire equation by the least common denominator that's formed by the denominators of all the fractions that are in the equation. So in this case, my factors are my denominators are 3v plus 1, 3v plus 1, and 3v plus 1. So that is a common factor of 3v plus 1. That would be the least common denominator. So I'm going to multiply by 3v plus 1 over 1. So now I'm going to distribute. Okay, and let me write out the problem again with the distributing having been done. Alright, so now I put the 3v plus 1 right in front of every term. And now my denominators are going to cancel out. So I cross those out. That gives me 3v plus 6. Those get crossed out. I get 1. And lastly, I get 2 times 3v plus 1, which is 6v plus 2. And now I have a simple rational equation to solve. So let me do that. I mean a simple linear equation, I should say. So I need to collect the v's on the left and the numbers on the right. I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. I'm going to subtract 6v from both sides. And that gives me negative 3v equals negative 5. Then I'm going to divide by negative 3. And I'm going to get v equal to 5/3. And that is my solution, equation solution. Alright, the final few words in tonight's sentence are these. The fourth Thursday of November every year. And once again, that's the fourth Thursday of November every year. Alright, I hope you found the screencast helpful, that many of you watched it, and get a good night's sleep. And we will see you tomorrow. Cheers.